Hello viewers, welcome back to my channel Grammar Tales. Learn English grammar with Krish. So in the previous class we had done the primary auxiliary verb have. We had done the forms of have, and what are those? Those are what? Has, had, have. Alright, the have is the base form and the components or the other parts are what? Has, had and have. Alright, so we had also seen the uses of have, or how we used has, have, had, all those things. Alright, so today we will be doing primary auxiliary verb do. We will see the forms of do as well as the uses, how they are used. So let us begin. Now see, do is the base verb. Alright, this is the verb, this is the base verb or the parent verb, you can say. Fine. So what are the forms of do? Let's see the forms of do. So the forms of do are do, did and does. Fine. Now just like have, do also can be used both as an auxiliary verb as well as a main verb. Alright, do can be used as an auxiliary verb and a main verb. Now as we proceed with the topic, we will see how it is used as an auxiliary verb as well as a main verb. Now as an auxiliary verb, what is an auxiliary verb? It is a helping verb, isn't it? So as an auxiliary verb, do is used in a negative as well as an interrogative sentence. Alright. Now what is a negative sentence? Sentences which have the word not, isn't it? It denotes a negative meaning. It applies a negative meaning to the sentence. And interrogative, you know very well, interrogative sentences are sentences which are used to ask questions, right? So auxiliary verb, when we use do as an auxiliary verb, it is used in negative and interrogative sentences. In what form? In the simple present and simple past tense. Fine. Now just I'll take an example. Say if I write I like to read books. Fine. Now I like to read books. Now suppose I want to change this into a negative sentence. So how will I do it? I will write what? I will use the auxiliary verb. I will use the verb do in the auxiliary form as a helping verb. Fine. And how will I do it? I do not like to read books. See, this word not, alright, this word not makes this sentence a negative sentence. Alright, it makes it a negative sentence. When I say I do not like to read books, here do is used as an auxiliary verb. Why? Because here see the main verb is read, so do is a helping verb or an auxiliary verb. Fine. Now if I want to change this into an interrogative sentence, how will I do it? I will start the sentence with do. Fine. Now let's see how we do it. This is the positive one, isn't it? I like to read books. Now I want to change it to an interrogative. We did the negative also. I do not like to read books. Now I will change it into an interrogative sentence. Do you like to read books? Question mark. So this has become what? This has become an interrogative sentence because I am asking a question, isn't it? Now see, we will take another example. Let's see. Say, I write a sentence. Say, I am reading a book. Now if you remember, am here is acting as an auxiliary verb or a main verb. Just see the sentence. It is a helping verb here, isn't it? This is am is the helping verb because the main verb is reading. And am is which form of the verb? It is the to be form, isn't it? The primary auxiliary verb to be. Fine. So I am reading a book. Now suppose I want to change this sentence into a negative one. What will I do? I will write what? I am not reading a book. Fine. As soon as I add this word not, it becomes a negative sentence. Isn't it? I am not reading a book. And if I want to change it to an interrogative sentence, I can say, am I reading a book? Or you can say, you can write in another word, other words also, like, are you reading a book? So it becomes an interrogative sentence. Fine. So when there is absence, all right, in the absence of a helping verb, we use do for first and second person. Fine. When in a sentence a helping verb we cannot use, or it is not there, in that case we use do for the first and the second person. What is the first and the second person? So first person is I, second person is you. So for these two we use do. We use do why? When we use do in the absence of a helping verb. Fine. These are the helping verbs, isn't it? Am, are, isn't it? These are helping verb, because the main verb is what? Reading. This is the main verb. Now suppose I want to remove the helping verb. So in that case what we will do? We will use do. We will use do. Because the helping verb is not there. So say by using do, suppose I want to make a positive sentence. So we can use the forms of do. How? Let's see. She does not, wait a minute, she does not like chocolates. Fine. This is the present tense. She does not. Now see one thing. Does is generally used with the third person singular. Fine. If it is the third person plural, suppose they, then we cannot use does. We will use do. They do not. They do not like chocolates. But when it is third person singular, we will use does. So it is in the present tense. It is in the present tense as well as it is a negative sentence. She does not like chocolates. Now suppose I want to change it into an interrogative sentence. What will I write? Again, does she like chocolates? Question marks. Fine. See here again we are using the form of do, does, because this is a single, this is the third person singular, isn't it? So this is use of does. Now say I want to use did in the past tense, isn't it? This is also a form of do, did. I can use it how? Did, alright, I want to write a, say, okay, not an interrogative sentence but a negative sentence. She did not read that book. So this is in the past tense as well as it is a negative sentence. Now if I want to write this same sentence in the interrogative form using the past tense, using did, how will I write? Did she read that book? Isn't it? I will write what? Did she read that book? Fine. So this is what? Negative interrogative. Now suppose I want to write a positive sentence with does. Positive sentence with what? With the primary auxiliary verb does. Alright, a component of do. Now I can write what? Positive sentence, she does her work sincerely, isn't it? So this is a present tense also, third person singular also, isn't it? As well as what? This is a I'm using I'm using the form of do as does, the component of do. Do is the base verb and this is the component, isn't it, or a part. So she does her work sincerely. Now see, here does is acting as the main verb, isn't it, because there are no other helping verbs here. Now I will change this into a negative sentence. Just see now. Does she, sorry, this is an interrogative. First let me write the negative, then I'll write the interrogative. Okay, she does not do her work sincerely. Fine. See, now this has become what? This has become a negative sentence. Does not. The word not is there. Now see, one thing interesting is that the form of do, okay, I'll mark it with a blue pen. The form of do, does and do, both are used here in one sentence, isn't it? This is what? This is the helping verb and this is the main verb. See how interesting? So both the forms of do, that is do itself as the main verb and does as the helping verb, are being used in a sentence to show it in the negative form. Fine. And it is the she does not do. She is the third person singular, isn't it? So she does not do her work sincerely. Now suppose I want to change it into an interrogative sentence. Then what will it become? Does she do her work? Does. Does she do her work sincerely? So I am asking a question, isn't it? So it is in the interrogative form. Now here also see, we are using both the forms of do, does as well as do. So this is the helping verb and this is the main verb, isn't it? So what does it come up to? That when we are changing a sentence into a negative one as well as an interrogative one using does. So in both these cases we are using two forms of the main verb or the base verb do. Fine. So these are the forms of do and uses of do. I have explained to you how we are to form interrogative and negative sentences. How then we are. Always remember that does is used for what? It is used for the third person. He, she, it. It is used for the third person singular. Fine. So I hope today's explanation or today's lesson was clear to you. And in the next class we will do something new. Fine. All right. Good night.